Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Shadow City Podcast. I am your host, Larry, and this is The Shadows Within. I hope everybody is having a great day, good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever we all may be. Got some shows to go over. Gonna go over GEW's Unprotected Volume 9. I will be going over the call-outs that happened yesterday, either later on today or another date. We're also going to go over GPW/WWM. We're going to go over the upcoming show for IZW, which is Fatality. And on a later show, or next time I go live, I'll be talking about TXT. So GEW callouts and TXT next time. But we got some shows to go over right now. Starting with GEW Fight Club Unprotected Volume 9. To kick off the show was a triple threat between Mr. Greatest, Talos, and Tyler Jones, with Mr. Greatest walking away victorious. Bloody Five between these five ladies: Lil Russia, Veronica LeBeau, Miss Demon X, Amaya Bryant, and Badass Brand, with Amaya Bryant walking away victorious. Extreme Rules Kelsey Monroe versus Violet Death, with Kelsey Monroe walking away victorious. Tornado Tag Inkslinger and the villain Todd Wilson. The team of Ink Villains took on Dimebag Dan and ADOT, with Ink Villains walking away victorious. Bombshell and Mad King versus Jay Smoke and Damian Briggs, with Mad King and Bombshell walking away victorious. Fight Club KO Women's Championship held under the underground rules between Niagara and Nagini Red, the champion, with Nagini Red retaining the gold. Fight Club KO Championship for the men's underground rules. Robert J versus the champion Magic Destroyer, with Robert J becoming the new champion. GEW World Class Championship Special Guest Referee Yams for the match between the Gremlin and the champion Khan, with the Gremlin becoming the new champion. GEW Fight Club US Championship Don Mecca versus Korean Mercenary, with Frankie Fingers the special guest referee, and Don Mecca became the new champion. Robert J versus Bombshell Extreme Rules, with Robert J walking out victorious. Extreme Rules Johnny Hernandez versus John Wigginton the Badass, with Johnny Hernandez walking away victorious. And the cap off the night, Extreme Rules Dimebag Dan versus Psycho, with Psycho walking away victorious. GPW Cali Raids versus Casey Skull, with Casey Skull walking away victorious. Ace Green versus Bobby Ball Tucker, with Bobby Ball Tucker walking away victorious. No Holds Barred Alexander versus ABM, with Alexander walking away victorious. Money in the Bank that ended in a time limit draw between Mason Payne, Evil Johnny, the Deranged Clown Insidious, Big Lou, Buster Anderson, Carnage, and Ranger Rogue and Adrian Danger. GCW Impact Championship Lil Devil versus the champion Savage Wolf, with Lil Devil becoming the new champion. GCW United Heritage Championship Travell Daniel versus the Phantom Eddie Walker the champion, with Travell Daniel becoming the new champion. Gulf Coast Prime Championship Bishop versus the champion Mr. Patterson, with Mr. Patterson retaining the gold. Gulf Coast Championship Jake King versus the champion Southern Psycho, with Southern Psycho retaining the gold. And a steel cage between Big T and Unrivaled Blade, with Blade, Unrivaled, walking out victorious. King of the Mountain match, which is held under underground rules for the King of the Mountain Championship. Isaac Frost versus the champion Jack Grades, with Isaac Frost becoming the champion once again. WWM Ascension, Kenny Hole versus Chaotic, with Chaotic walking away victorious. WWM Television Championship Gladius versus the champion Outlaw, with Outlaw retaining the gold. WWM Rising Star Championship King versus Jack Grades versus Money Dog, with King becoming the new champion. Vernon Quinn versus Turtle Harrington versus ZZ Beretta, with Vernon Quinn walking away victorious. Nexus versus Monster, with Monster walking away victorious. King Slick versus Prince X in a tables, with Prince X walking away victorious. Ace Cannon versus Blaze Vortex, with Blaze Vortex walking away victorious. Steel Cage Cash Gordy versus the Savage John Robb, with Cash Gordy walking away victorious. Champion versus Champion Aku versus Ryan GM, with Ryan GM walking away victorious. King of the Mountain match, and for the King of the Mountain Championship, which is held under underground rules. Michael McIntyre versus Isaac Frost, the champion, with Isaac Frost retaining the gold. GPW Extra, Extreme Rules, Mr. Patterson versus Bishop, Mr. Patterson walking away victorious. Kendo Tube match between Kenny Hole and Chaotic, with Kenny Hole walking away victorious. ABM versus Outlaw, with Outlaw walking away victorious. Michael McIntyre versus Vernon Quinn, with Vernon Quinn walking away victorious. Mr. Patterson and Ghost Edwards versus Big C and D Block, with Big C and D Block walking away victorious. No Holds Barred, Money Dog versus Jerome GM, with Jerome GM walking away victorious. Falls Count Anywhere, Kenny Hole versus Mr. Patterson, with Mr. Patterson walking away victorious. Travell Daniel versus Isaac Frost, with Isaac Frost walking away victorious. Big Lou versus Unrivaled Blade, with Unrivaled Blade walking away victorious. Falls Count Anywhere, Chaotic versus Outlaw, with Outlaw walking away victorious. Vernon Quinn versus the Savage John Robb, with John Robb walking away victorious. Bishop versus ABM, Bishop walking out victorious. Buster Anderson versus ABM, with Buster Anderson walking away victorious. Gate Party match, which is their version of a 6-man tag. Fingers, Jaquio and Aaron James versus Bobo the Clown, Victor Blackthorne, and Unrivaled Blade, with Team Bobo the Clown walking away victorious. Hell in a Cell, Buster Anderson versus Blade, the Unrivaled Blade walking away victorious. Kando versus Turtle Harrington, with Turtle Harrington versus walking away victorious. And to cap off the night, Big T versus Data Boy, with Data Boy walking away victorious. Now the upcoming show, PLE for IZW Fatality, which is tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned for it tomorrow. And to kick off the show, some people are double booked, by the way. So stay tuned for that. IZW Death Pit Championship, Falls Count Anywhere. The champion Aaron James will defend against Akane Fashawn and the Phantom Eddie Walker. Prince X versus Franco Ramon. IZW Women's Tag Team Championships, the Daughters of Decay, Kendra Grimm and Violet Grimm versus Cameron Steele and Ashley Dillon versus the Blackheart Collective, Reagan Anderson and Sylvia Knight. For the IZW International Championship, It will be a fatal four-way. Redmayne, Big T, the Deranged Clown Insidious, and the John Wigington, the Badass. IZW Women's Bloodlust Championship, Isabella Grades versus the champion, Jen, in a death pit, which is their version of the Underground. Mona versus LaShawn S. IZW Men's Tag Team Championships on the line. Katie and Combat Genius versus the champions, the Venom Club, CJ Frost, and Wes Grimm, the King of Chaos. 8-way blood elimination for the Impact Zone World Championship. Unrivaled Blade, Lewis West the Wild Child, the Ghost J Jin, Reese the Destroyer, Big Lou, Primetime JoJo, Buster Anderson, and the Phantom, Eddie Walker. Tornado tag between Alex King and Max King versus Travell Daniel and Keith Hunt. 2 out of 3 tables, Akira Frost versus Angel Bryant. Co-main event, IZW Women's World Championship, 2 out of 3, Riley the Ripper, Lady of the Shadows versus Britt Graves. The champion, Britt Graves. And to cap off the night, Extreme Rules, 2 out of 3, Jack Graves, the Grave Assassin, versus the Gladiator, Corey Bishop. That should be epic, ladies and gentlemen. So, next time we're on here, we will be going over DSEW's recent show. I forgot to mention that. GEW's recent call-out show, and TXT's recent show. But I do hope everybody... Also, IWA had their show today. Go check that out if you missed it. Stay tuned for IWA The Greatest Show, the Grand Royale, and a bunch of other shows that will be coming. And we got a show planned in 2 weeks. But I do hope everybody has a great day, good night, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever y'all may be. Peace out.